Alright, so the day has come. Finally going to be able to install the new TTR solid polyurethane transmission mount. Okay? I want to go over a couple things real quick as per TTR's request. Go through and kind of say everything that needs to be done, all the tools needed, and we're going to go through the process as well. Now, the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand is leverage. Alright, this mount can come out, and it'll come out with a bunch of leverage, okay? Alright, you can probably see it down there. Alright, now the other thing that needs to happen is, and I know you guys are probably going to cringe at this, is you need to unbolt the steering gear. Okay, now that's not hard at all. It's not going to mess up the steering. I've already taken off and replaced the stock mount with the same one as mine was being shipped out to get a design made of. The steering gear, just 2 bolts, and you use some leverage to lift it up. It helps if you have somebody else. If you don't, you know, that happens. I work a lot, you know, just with me, so I figured out how to do a good majority of this stuff myself. Alright, so the tools that you're going to need for this endeavor today is jacks, of course. Jack stands, need to jack up the car to be able to get underneath. It does not work on Rhino ramps. For some reason, probably because the steering box or steering gear or whatever, it will not work. So, some of the tools that you're going to need, and I'm sure there's going to be a few more that I forget. You're going to need a pry bar, you know, preferably something that's pretty sturdy with a thin tip to be able to get above the trans mount. You're going to need some kind of hammer. This is a short 3-pound sledgehammer. It's called a drilling hammer. That really doesn't make any difference. Something to tap it out. Now this is a rusted little chisel. I would not recommend a chisel. This is just what I had, and it worked. So it's not going to be too big of a deal. You're going to need a 19 millimeter. Okay. Now this is very important. It's a 19 millimeter. Either you can get an impact drill, or you could get just regular hand tools, which is actually what I had first used. 19 millimeter, either the ratcheting spanner or the spanner, crescent wrench, whatever you want to call it, and then just a regular one. I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you right now everything that needs to be taken apart. I'm going to move the light so that we can see a little bit better. Alright, now having one of these is very nice too, but that doesn't matter. Alright, so this right here, I don't know if you can see that, this right here is your transmission mount. Okay, it's mounted in by 2 bolts to the frame. This is actually the transmission cradle, or transmission bracket, sorry, that's attached to the cradle. Okay, these 2 bolts go to the base of the mount, and this bolt that comes through right over there is holding the mount in. Okay, now the other 2 bolts that you need to concern yourself with are this one, which is right there in reference to, you know, the exhaust and all that kind of stuff, and then this one over here. Those are the steering rack bolts. You undo that, there is a nut up top and a washer. There's a washer at the bottom and then a washer at the top, so you got to make sure that you get both of those. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what's there. I'm gonna go ahead and start up trying to get this working and installed. Let's see if I can get this. Come on, camera. Let me grab something real quick. See if I can get this raised up a little bit. No, not quite. Okay. Alright, sweet. So, First couple things that you're going to take off are these. I'll make sure that's going the right direction. It's going to be loud. Alright, there's one. There's two. Those just come off pretty simply. Alright. I'll make sure that I'm getting this. Okay. Now, the reason that you gotta take the steering gear off is because this bolt here, this is the one that's in the front. There we go. This one that's in the front here, that is actually going to run into one of the connectors. So I'm gonna see, that's good for now. I'm gonna undo this one, this bolt in a second. This is the transmission. What's it called? The actual bushing bolt. Okay, so as you can see, it's already moving a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and undo the steering rack bolts. Okay. Need to put a wrench up there. Okay. Gonna get that in a second. Gotta grab a 19mm wrench. This is just a regular, just a regular wrench. I'm gonna put that on top of the bolt to be able to hold it from freely spinning. So, once I find it, should be right there. Okay, now I am going to bring the camera up for a second. Okay, you see where that wrench is? That bolt right there. It's a little hard to see, but it's like, oh no, not zoom in, not zoom in. Okay, sorry. That bolt right there, you got to put something on top of it or the nut's just going to spin and it's not going to do anything. Okay, let's get back to doing that. Alright, see where that wrench is right now? Now, all the way over there, you could see that, is the bolt that you need to get out for the steering gear. Oh, let's zoom out. Okay. Do that. Hold on to the wrench. Okay. There we go. Do it again. There we go. All right. Take that out. Okay, this bolt, save it. Alright, then you need to find a way to get the nut. It's right there. And the washer, which is actually going out the other side, which is not what I wanted. There we go. And the washer. Make sure you keep those all together. Alright, put it off to the side. Okay, we're going to move to this one over here. It's going to be the same exact thing. I'll bring the light over a bit. Okay, it's going to be the same exact thing. You put the wrench up there. Make sure there's something there to hold it. Okay, that's tight. Go ahead and grab whatever you're going to use. I'm using an impact drill. That's not a bad idea to use. Alright. Alright. Now that one is out. Almost. I think it came off. Nope. Just need to. Okay. We'll pull the nut off. Here's the other nut. You can get the washer as well. Alright. And now, just need to get this thing out. There we go. Make sure you keep it all together still. Okay. Those are all together. Now, this is the tricky part. Recording?
Yes.
Alright. Now these two bolts, these are the transmission bracket bolts. You're going to want to take the back one out first, the farthest one back. Alright. Oh, my face.
Heck, that's on a recording.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Careful, your face isn't under it.
Be careful of your face. Alright. Now, the steering gear. Everybody's going to cringe about this. It's honestly the only way to be able to get it out without dropping the whole frame. Okay? So, see how the steering gear is coming up? Mm-hmm. Because this bolt back here is going to ram directly up into the connector.
They can't see any bolt.
Yeah, well, I got to move the gear. Okay, going to move the steering gear forward a bit. Just a very little bit. Which is going to allow this bolt, if I can get to it, ouch, ouch, and allow this bolt to come up a little bit freer. And be careful of your face. Alright. Now, can you see this here? This here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you're going to use a wrench. It doesn't matter if it's a ratcheting spanner or if it's a regular crescent wrench. But you're going to want to loosen this, and it's still a 19 millimeter, so you know nothing's changed. Gonna want to get, ouch. Gotta get this undone. Now, I am not going to undo my downpipe, which I did before because it is a hog, and honestly, I really don't want to take it apart. Come on, buddy. There we go. Now you can start undoing it. Your hand. Make sure you keep this plate on because this is what's going to help the bushing not melt from the exhaust. Alright. Now that that is off, like I said, make sure you keep the plate on
the screw. On the bolt.
Yep. Alright, now, you can see that the mount moves around freely now. Alright, that won't happen for you guys. I feel terrible, but since I've already done it, it'll actually come out a little bit easier. But I'm going to reenact and try and see how it was before.
I am already.
Okay. Alright, so, this is the part that you're probably going to cringe about. Take the pry bar, keep pulling down, hit up. pull down, hit up. See how it's coming forward? Keep pulling down. Okay, pull it down, tap it up, comes forward. Okay, now this is where this little chisel thingy, it's not really a chisel, it's more something just to tap it back, and the hammer comes in. Okay, come all the way back, tap it forward, mount here. Alright, this is the round part that goes actually to the transmission. Then you got the mount bracket, transmission bracket. Alright, this little hole, you're going to stick something in that you can tap it out with. Okay, I chose this thing because it was lying around, and what better way to recycle. So, you're going to put it in the hole, and then you are going to this hole here, which is access to the back of the mount. Okay, you're going to put it in the hole here. You might want to move the camera because the sledgehammer is going to be right there. Now you're going to tap it forward. You see how it's moving? Okay, now it's moving a lot. I want to get it all the way forward, or as forward as you can go. Okay, until this is coming down quite a bit and almost touching the actual transmission. Okay, then you're going to take this, you're going to take your pry bar, go up, and you're just going to keep prying it down, getting that rubber bushing loose. Okay, same thing on the other side. Keep prying it down, get the little rubber bushing loose. Not a little at all. I'm going to keep doing that. Now it's starting to come down a little bit more. Alright, when it's come down a sufficient amount, push it up. Put the pry bar up at the front part of the transmission mount, and pull. See how it's coming down? And pull, and pull, and pull. Now, as you are seeing, it is bending this. That is not a problem. Okay, because when you actually mount it back up, it's going to be mounting back here, and it's going to become flat. Alright, so this little bend here is actually going to make it a little bit easier to get out. It's not going to shear, it's not going to break. It is going to help it to get out. Alright, so now, you're going to go tap it again with your trusty tapping tool. Some of the tools down here, jeez. I'm going to tap it again. And we're out. Rear transmission mount. It's going to take a lot of tapping, a lot of using the pry bar. Like I said at the beginning of this, leverage is everything. Alright, so this is your transmission mount mounting surface. Probably a better word for it, but that's everything I can come up with right now. Alright, so this is the transmission mount mounting surface. You got two little winglets, or whatever. Okay, and then this is the mounting bracket. Alright, which will have a little bit of a bend in it after you're done taking this out. Now, the first time that I took it out, it did take a little bit, but that's because I was trying to figure out, what all I needed to do. So, steering gear is loose, transmission mount is out. We're going to go to a little short review of the transmission mount, the stock transmission mount versus the TTR transmission mount. Turbo kitty. She doesn't look too happy right now. Okay, so stock mount. Okay, steel. It's welded steel. It's not completely solid like we had thought, with a rubber bushing. Okay, this rubber bushing allows for a lot of deflection, therefore losing torque to the wheels because it's being deflected into this rubber. Now, so you could probably see when I do. See how easy that is to move? I'm sure if you put something in it and pull, yeah. So that's where all your torque is being lost, especially right off the line too. Now, in comes the TTR solid poly transmission mount. Okay? This is a very nice piece. I have this one in red powder coat. and a black bushing. Right now they have them available in black powder coat and red bushing, or red powder coat and a black bushing. Okay, now this is obviously, you can tell the difference between them. You have the completely solid one, completely solid, not going to allow for much or deflection at all. Then you've got this one, the stock mount, which has a bunch of holes. See those holes? Okay. Now, the one thing to remember about this mount is there will be a very, very slight vibration in the car. Okay, that's just because it's, you know, a harder mount. There's going to be a little bit more vibration, but not nearly as much as the solid motor mount. Okay, so TTR's mount, stock mount, we will get it installed pretty soon. This is actually upside down. Nope, it was right side up before. Go me. Okay, now the one thing that's going to help with the install is TTR actually machined this little insert here. They machined it just a little bit narrower so that you can slide it up and slide it directly in. So that's going to help for, you know, installation. And if you ever decide to pull it out, I don't know why you would, but that's just me. You would just, you know, undo the bolts, slide it right out, and good as gravy. Alright, now take the mount, slide it up, use the hand hammer, pops right in. Of course, after, you know, a little remanufacturing, but that's not a big deal. Ah! Okay. Damn it, where's the other?
Is that the first one or the second one?
It's the second one.
Okay. That fell in, right?
Okay. Alright, we're good.
You got both in?
Yep. Not this. Okay. Okay. Alright. The order that you want to go the bolts in is the one that's closest to the engine, and then the one that's farthest from the engine before you put the central bolt in. So you're going to actually have to move the transmission up a little bit to get that bolt through. This bolt is a pain. I'm editing out, you know, all the problems because some not nice words were said. But yeah, put in the furthest or closest bolt first, then this bolt. So therefore, you don't have to worry about the steering gear anymore. We can actually get it reattached in a couple of seconds, minutes maybe. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to get the transmission central bolt. You go ahead and slide that bolt in. And for this one, you're going to have to lift the transmission a little bit so you can get it in. Okay. Alright. So you take your handy dandy little ratchet tool. Nope, that's the other way. I'll let that go for now. Okay, I'm going to tighten these. Okay. Give this a shot. Nope, that won't work. Okay. Alright, so that's in. Now it's to get the steering gear bolted up. Now to get the steering gear lined up again, put the bolt up. You're gonna keep, oh, that's the transmission mount, that's not gonna work. I'm just gonna keep moving it until we get it situated. Yep, there's one. Okay. It is going in, just not, you know, not the way people want it to. Oh. Okay. Bolt. Thank you. Okay, the other one. Over here. Good.
Okay.
Great. We're going to keep one of the washers on the bottom. The one that's going to be on the bottom is the one that's the same size as the actual head of the bolt. The bigger one goes with the nut, which, yes, it is bigger. The nut goes on top. This goes on the bottom. That didn't work. Let's see exactly where it goes. Is that one? Ah! Ow! Okay. Alright, we're good. We're good. We're good. Ow, my hair. Ow, my hair. You want to put the washer up first. Put the nut where you know you're going to find it. Put the washer up first. Stick the bolt through it. Take the nut. And try your damnedest to get that thing up there. Okay. I think it is in there. Not quite. There we go. Up, almost. Alright. Nut is on. I'm threading it up just a little bit to get it caught. Okay. Now, same thing with the other side. Gonna get the gear situated where it slides up. Alright. Alright. This one's going to be the tough one because it's at kind of an odd angle. Okay. We'll let the bolt come down a bit. Take the nut. After you put the washer on, go over the sway bar. Don't drop the nut. Go over the sway bar. You're going to put it right on the bolt. I'm going to thread it a little bit. Keep threading it. And yes, I'm using my chest as a kind of a lock thing. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd the nut go? Oh, there it is. Alright. So now is when you're going to tighten them. that's where that 19 millimeter comes in again. 19 millimeter. Gonna go ahead and get it up on top of the nut as best as you can. Okay. I have one hand to do that. And then one hand to do this. And don't hit yourself in the throat while you're doing that. Get that repositioned so we can get it tightened down, except wasn't tightening. Yes, this is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but alright. So now that that's on again, we'll go ahead and do this. There we go. That one's tightened. And we'll torque them down in a little bit. Go ahead and do the same thing for this one. Alrighty. There you have it. Everything's back together. I'm going to go torque it down right now. Everything's supposed to be torqued to 81 foot-pounds. If you can do it, sweet. We're good.